When you use AI, it feels like magic, right? It's instant, it's invisible, it feels clean. But behind that digital curtain, there's this massive physical world of infrastructure that has some very, very real-world costs. So today, let's pull back that curtain and look at the hidden price of the AI revolution. And it all kind of starts with this really powerful metaphor from OpenAI's own CEO, Sam Altman. Now, he's not talking about conquering lands with legions. No, he's talking about a totally different kind of global dominance, one that's being built right now all around us. Think about it. The Romans, they built their empire on these huge agricultural estates that spanned entire continents. But these new titans of tech, they're building something else entirely. That's right. The modern version of those vast Roman estates are these colossal AI data centers. They're popping up all over the planet, and they are incredibly hungry for resources. This, right here, is the foundation of the new Silicon Empire. So, how in the world did we get here? Well, this didn't just happen overnight. It's really the climax of decades of evolving tech, with each new demand just piling on top of the last. Go back to the 60s, you had these giant mainframes. Then the 90s internet boom gave us the first big wave of data centers. Then, in the 2010s, everything became the cloud, which made it all seem kind of virtual and weightless. But now with generative AI, the physical requirements have just exploded to a level we have never ever seen before. For years, the big buzzword was big data, how to sort through all this information. But now, that's not really the main event anymore. The real challenge is just building these billion-dollar data centers needed to power the AI in the first place. It's a completely different scale, a whole new ballgame. And as you can imagine, this shift has kicked off what is basically a modern-day gold rush. You've got all the tech giants pouring absolutely staggering amounts of money into building out this new world. Just take a look at the Stargate project. This is a team-up between OpenAI and Microsoft. Their initial pledge, a cool $100 billion. And that's just the down payment. Because the long-term plan is even more wild. They're looking at potentially investing up to $500 billion into this thing over the next few years. It's almost hard to wrap your head around that number. And this isn't just one project. Oh no, it is an industry-wide frenzy. Microsoft on its own is on track for 80 billion in AI data centers. NVIDIA is pledging up to 100 billion. It's just a flat-out race to build bigger and faster than everyone else. And here's where things get a little weird. A lot of this money is just moving in circles. NVIDIA will say something like, hey, we'll invest in you, but only if you use that money to buy billions of dollars of our chips. It's this self-fueling cycle that has some analysts getting pretty nervous. Which, of course, leads us to the billion-dollar question hanging over all of this. With all this cash just swirling around in these kinds of circular deals, are we watching a real sustainable leap in technology? Or are we just inflating a massive AI bubble? But beyond all the financial questions, there's a much more immediate price being paid. So let's pivot away from the dollars and cents for a minute and talk about the real, tangible consequences for our planet and for our communities. And these aren't just abstract ideas. We're talking about an absolutely enormous demand for energy. We're talking about draining local water supplies just to keep the servers cool. There are even reports of local wells literally running dry. This is where the digital world smacks right into the physical one, and sometimes it does real damage. And to put the energy use into perspective, just think about this. AI's global energy demand is on track to blow past the entire demand from Bitcoin mining. We all know how much power crypto uses, right? Well, AI is about to leave it in the dust. And it's not just about power and water. In one parish in Louisiana, where Meta is building a new data center, residents have seen a 600% spike in car crashes. That is a shocking, terrifyingly real cost of building on this kind of massive scale. So with all these huge financial and environmental costs piling up, you have to ask, what's the future of this AI empire? Can this insane pace of building and consuming really last? Well, if you ask an industry leader like AMD's CEO Lisa Su if they've gone too far, the answer is a very clear and emphatic no. And their justification for all of this? It's simple. Overwhelming demand from us. And what does that demand look like? It looks like this. 800 million people using ChatGPT every single week. For the executives, this number is all the proof they need. They say they're just building the infrastructure that the world is already screaming for. But look, just because the demand is real doesn't mean all their assumptions are right. Could they be wrong about the long-term economic math? What about the actual availability of water and power? Is it possible they're seriously underestimating the real ecological damage of building out this empire? These are the huge questions that nobody seems to have an answer for yet. Which brings us right back to where we started. Sam Altman's metaphor, it's a great one, but it comes with a pretty big warning label. Empires, no matter how mighty they seem, have limits. Even Rome eventually collapsed under its own weight. So as we stand here and watch this new Silicon Empire rise, we have to ask ourselves, is this time really going to be any different?